A society where guns and racism is more accessible than healthcare is the height of moral depravity. You cannot afford to boast on being the best nation on earth when you have such ideas that are seeped in a poverty of ethics. You can judge a nation by how important healthcare and the basic necessities that should be human rights, how accessible they are. I think that's how we judge a nation. If you can have more guns than human beings, then you definitely can grant more people access to healthcare, because if not, it just shows where your priorities are. And why would your priorities be there if something is out of whack? You teach children from an early age subconsciously that the way to maybe resolve conflict is through violence. You also terrify them and make them live in a constant state of fear, which completely undermines the value of the pursuit of happiness. I don't know how anyone can pursue happiness productively whilst they're always looking over their shoulder, going to school with bulletproof backpacks, cautious of a mass shooting occurring. I don't know how people can learn comfortably in an environment like that. What that does to a child's psyche, and again, this is why I say it's a developing nation, because these are some of the very real threats that people in what Trump would call shithole countries have to think about. The problem is always beyond you. The problem is always outside of you. It's foreigners, it's immigrants, it's women. To look closer to home is harder because a lot of nations run on the superiority complex that they are the best on earth, and a lot of our issues are coming from right underneath our noses. And I think that's what happens in a case like what we see happening in America with the war and with the ban on Muslims and the attack on Muslims. It's quite logical that if people are feeling alienated, alienation and entitlement are a dangerous concoction. So if people are feeling alienated and entitled, and it's easier to get a gun than it is to get your driving license perhaps, these things are inevitable. There is a major difference between the right to bear arms and the right to have weapons of mass destruction. Who has to die? Who has to die for gun reform to happen? Does it have to be like, someone in the president's immediate family? I don't really know what it takes. I don't. I often wish for an alien invasion where aliens come and does to us everything we've done to each other and the world, and I think it's only then, in that instance, where we realize that we can't play God and that we may need each other more than we originally thought. I'm praying for that day, but it seems it won't happen because I don't think there's enough intelligent life force here to even attract them. Double Down News, they don't do adverts, they are not influenced by any corporate forces. Do become a patron. This is a rarity these days. I've learned so much from the people that they've interviewed. They've been kind enough to talk to me a few times. So join the future of journalism, join Double Down News.